In this video, we're going to cover our 5 favorite drills that all spinners can do. The first drill sequence we're going to look at is starting by, as an off spinner, going over the ball to try and turn it across using a line to see that we're getting the revs on. This is done nice and close to your body, so it's under control and there's no other things to worry about. For the leggy, what we're going to be doing is we're going to throw the ball up and try and spin it back to us. For both of these, it's just making sure that the fingers or wrist, depending on the spin type that you're using, are working through the ball to impart revs upon it to get us used to that. For each of these, there is a progression in the drill. For the leg spinner, what we're going to be doing is throwing the ball under arm while using the leg spin action. At the same time, pulling back on the ball to impart more revs on it and making sure that the seam comes out nice and straight and nice and controlled. For the off spin, we're actually going to be throwing over arm, trying to make sure that we're getting our fingers going over the top of the ball while getting the seam to present at a 45-degree angle, making sure that we get the fingers turning over the ball to get the revs that we require. All of these drills are used to make sure that the fingers or wrist work through the ball to impart as many revs as possible on the ball, because as a spinner, this is one of your biggest weapons. Moving on to drill sequence number 2. How we're going to start this is we're going to start in the crease in our delivery stride for both of the bowling actions. From here, we're going to bowl the ball with a good drive through the crease, helping us complete the action. What's important here is to make sure that we are limiting the extraneous movement and making sure that we're getting through the ball to really make sure that our action is strong within the crease. The progression for both of these will be now going into a set bound position. You're going to set with your weight on your jump-in foot, and from there you're going to jump into the crease and complete your bowling action with that momentum. Why these drills are so important is because they are focusing on the bound and the action through the crease itself. So we're taking out all the other stuff to make it simpler to complete it successfully and make our action stronger and therefore more consistent. As you all know, bowling is a very technical aspect of the game. So if you want to improve your bowling or batting, we offer video analysis. If you are interested, drop us a mail at info@CoachCricXI.co.za. See you there. Let's get back to this video. Moving on to the third drill. What we're going to focus on now is being strong on our back foot landing through the crease. For this, we have used memory foam, but you may use anything that is a softer surface or not as stable surface as the ground that you're bowling off. You're going to step with your back foot onto the different surface, hold for a split second, and then complete your action. What's important here is making sure that the back foot remains steady and in a good strong position, while the slight shifting of the foot is making sure that the stabilizing muscles get nice and strong. And then from there, it's important that our action stays consistent and repeatable and driving through the crease with a good back leg drive. Why we do this is to make sure that we get as much energy through the crease as possible, because this energy through the crease is going to help us impart more revs on the ball and complete the action, making it that much easier to hit a good line and a good length. Moving on to the fourth drill. What we have done is we've taken that memory foam or softer surface and moved it to where the front foot landing would be. This is important because we're going to make sure that our front foot stays nice and strong through the action, but at the same time that the leg braces, thus helping us get more height and actually get through the front of the crease, because that's where our release point is going to be. It's important to make sure that as you get there, for the off spinner, it is a shorter, quicker stride, get nice and high onto your pivot foot. The pivot is important because that's going to help us spend time through the top of the action to get the revs on the ball. For a leg spinner, it is a slightly longer stride and you can spend a bit more time on the front foot to allow the wrist time to work through the ball, because that's where your revs come from. For the fifth and final drill, we are going to use a hurdle, but you may use any object that creates a little bit of height within the crease. We're going to be putting this object in the middle of the crease. This is to help us make sure that we get nice and high in our action, which is going to allow us to spend time through the action, at the same time forcing the front leg to snap over it, giving us the extra height and allowing us to drive through with the back leg in a nice straight line, so our lines in the crease are good, but also the energy is going through the release point, allowing us to impart as much as we can on the ball. Doing this is going to make sure that we consistently do the same thing through the crease, making our action consistent, which in turn is going to make sure we are consistent down that side of the pitch where the batter is, while still getting revs and making it more challenging. Now that you've seen our favorite drills, if you want to learn some different spin bowling variations, check the video out over here.